So first thing to be aware, obviously, in terms of your setup, okay, you had quite a narrow stance with your feet.
Yeah.
Okay. You had the lean of the shaft forward there with your left arm nicely, but the way it kind of went a long way forward meant that your sort of this shoulder came forward and basically made your chest kind of aim over. If you actually look at your head there, you can see your right ear and your left ear is not visible because your head's kind of tilted to this. Sorry, your head's kind of tilted this way.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at this one here now, when you get set up in a second, you're a lot more straight onto the golf ball. Okay, so what we're looking for is to get the chest really to aim this side of the golf ball. Yours at the moment now is aiming sort of more down towards that left side. So going through this sequence now, there, so you see that lean there now. And it's a bit exaggerated, but you can get the lean there with the shoulders. Okay. Then get your feet a bit wider. Okay, if we look at your sort of setup here now, looking at your head, just a little bit more kind of face on rather than sort of tilted off the side. Your jacket, your sort of jumper, is more kind of in this direction rather than kind of going over there kind of thing. And just getting a little bit more of a sort of, and a more efficient setup. So when you swing the golf club here back, able to rotate nicely, get that right side of the way. Now, one of the things we discussed, obviously, you leaning back, you can see as you go in the golf, they sort of drop and lean back, so almost trying to get under the ball and try and lift it up in the air. And that causes that lead foot then to sort of start coming off the ground, so you'll lift heel now sort of spinning backwards, sort of a little dance move there with that left foot. Okay, and most of your weight when you finish is on this right foot. Okay, in time, what I want to try and say is probably going to with some practice with this setup. Once you get the setup better, I want to get you sort of from here now to start moving this way with the lower half. So your hips start moving to the left, your body start moving to the left there. So you get a better impact moving. Again, if you're going to throw a ball, hit a tennis ball, a tennis racket, a cricket, there'd be movement to your target. Yours is very much sort of backing away. And hitting off the back foot, what that's going to cause now is the likelihood to hit the ground behind the golf ball. Okay? Shots to them want to be pulled behind you because you're hitting off the back foot, kind of pulling it to the left. And then you cause to try and deflect it by changing the club face in some way. So again, you're adding lots of variables into that swing that we don't really want to have. So, but the problem was with that setup as you had, you had to kind of back up at the shot, as we call it, because if you didn't, you'd hit the ground so hard behind the golf ball because with your chest aiming kind of, as we said, down to the left hand side here, you're just going to bury the club in the ground. So you've got to sort of do some kind of get out your own way. Otherwise, that club's hitting the ground so far behind the golf ball here, and no good to anyone. Exactly. So we want to try and get you behind the ball to start with, and sort of staying there, and then get your lower half moving a bit better, so the feet, knees, and hips start moving towards target, and just getting a bit more shift through the ball. Just to get your speed and power up and just get things working together. If you've got kind of club going this way and knees going that way, and there's lots of variation there, and it's a battle between the two or three components really. So not when I came through the swing, I lift my your back leg doesn't move. Your back leg doesn't move. If you were moving in the correct manner, you wouldn't have to think about moving that foot. If you would, exactly. I mean, it's almost like if you sort of go to walk with your right foot, your left foot kind of is going to come with it because your weight's going that way. If you put your right foot forward and you leant back, your right foot would never hit the ground and you wouldn't walk. So things are going to happen very much with movements of other body parts, and they just sort of follow in suit. But for me, setup is going to be the key thing, getting yourself into a good setup. Try not to sort of push the handle too far forward. It needs to be slightly forward, but again, it's only going to be a sort of just a gentle 2 or 3 degrees of what we call shaft lean. We don't be sort of cricketing sort of forward defence and sort of
I think when I
really
started,
putting the hands forward.
I was the other way.
And exactly. I mean, before you had your hands. You exactly, and that's the thing with golf. Golf is very much kind of the sort of the Goldilocks effect, where you could be the blue line where you were too far back, the green line where you sometimes go green line. Go green. The green line you'd be too far forward, obviously, and the red line would be sort of where you want it to be. So there's only fractions. We're not making massive adjustments.
No.
Okay, but stance was a bit narrow. Body was aiming a little bit too far, sort of left of the golf ball, which meant your swing was going to be steeper. So we want this trail shoulder to be lower than that lead shoulder. Get the lead arm and the club nicely in line, again, and staying behind the golf ball there at setup, okay?
Yeah.
This drop behind the ball so we can sort of look at it as we go through the lesson. That's where some of the shots are going to go to the left because you're just pulling it back. If we can get that set up better and get to a stage where you're not thinking about your setup, it needs to be like, here's the golf club, there's the golf ball, boom, that's how I stand to it. Not hand, right hand under, shoulder down, chest. It's overthinking too much. Okay, and you can see if you did overthink it that much and spent a long time getting in that position, even when I put you in the right position, shot was terrible because you've been there for 35, 40 seconds motionless, and then you just seized up, I can't move now. And now trying to move when you're that stiff, you're like, never going to work.
No.
Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Excellent, good stuff.